Alright, so today we're going to be working on a board that has no backlight and no image, and when you take a look in the microscope, do you really have to think about why that is? So, yeah, that's nasty. That is nasty. Absolutely garbage. So, now the no backlight is going to be caused by here. No image is going to be caused by here, and let's just follow this back a little bit. So they have two pins of the LCD connect. I'm not even going to open the schematic for this. I would be insulting your intelligence by bothering. So these are going to be the two pins that are used for powering the LCD's image. It's going to be used for the backlight. Now if we follow these back, they go to this component, and oh, what do you know? This component looks destroyed. So this is an inductor that's on the line that powers the image circuitry, so all that stuff has got to go. So let's start getting rid of it. And just in case you weren't able to see that, since the microscope camera only shows you a portion of what I see, not the whole thing. See this? See this over here? Leads back here. See that inductor? No good. So let's zoom in on the inductor for a moment so you can see what I mean. That is no good. And I have to wait for this damn hot air station to heat up anyway, so while I'm waiting for the weller to heat up, which I never have to do with the JBC, I'll show you on the schematic what's going on. So I have to open the schematic for this in board view for this model motherboard. It's the 82030. Actually, this is not the 8203437. I think it's the newer one. But it's so close it doesn't even really make a difference. It's not going to make shit of a difference. They haven't changed anything. So L8304, L8304. So see this LCD connector, PP3V3, that's 3.3 volts, SO, when the computer's on, for the LCD. And that is going through L8304, which, again, I don't have to measure. It's just bad. So we're going to remove this and see what happens. Now, obviously, there will be no reusing this gentleman's cable. This LCD cable is fucked. Let's take a look. Yep. I'm pretty sure if this was a wholesale customer, they'd try to plug that back in. In fact, I know if this was a wholesale customer, they'd try to plug it back in. That's why it's so great to deal with retail people instead of wholesale people. You have no idea how many people would try to plug that thing back in. I mean, you'd think that if somebody is a repair store that they'd know better, but no. You'd think wrong. Okay, this is pretty boiling by now, so stuff should be coming off without any effort. Let's see how good the micro pencil is at wicking, which is the exact opposite of what it's supposed to be used for. Yeah. I should just plug in the big iron. Yeah, that's probably what I'd do if I had a fucking brain. I'd plug in the iron that's meant for these things. That requires turning around, taking it off the wall, unplugging this one, hitting my thumb on the fucking HAKKO key, plugging in the new one, listening to it bitch at me, listening to it bitch at me again and beep, then finally beep, and be done. And, you know, who really wants to do all that? I guess I'll do all that because this is not working. So hit my thumb, ow, listen to it beep and bitch at me, fuck you, grab the new iron, burn the side of my hand, putting the old one back on the rack, plug the new one in, hit my thumb on that, ow, listen to it beep and bitch at me, fuck you, and very shortly it should finally be ready to start working and shut the fuck up. Suck my dick, HAKKO. They make some of the most annoying gear in the world. Really. I mean, like, between putting the key over here, like putting the key right where you're going to plug something in, or the incessant fucking beeping for no reason. I don't know who does this. I don't know if they just, if they want you to buy Weller and JVC or whatever. I don't know who comes up with this shit, but whoever does needs to be kicked in the nutsack. All right. Come on. Ah, that was a terrible wicking move. Oh god, this wicking is going awful. All right. Wow. That went absolutely awful. I did everything you're not supposed to do when wicking. I mean, like, everything you're not supposed to do when wicking. And I still didn't rip a pad. Huh. This is an iPhone. I'd have no pads left. You realize that. Just so you're all on the same page. If this was an iPhone, I would have no pads right now. And if this was an iPhone, I'd be making less money. Like, people will ask me, why don't you work on that stuff? Well, if my queue is filled with this stuff, and it pays better, and it's less of a pain in the dick, why would you want me to work on an iPhone again? Excuse me? Like, what is your argument? Ah, you want me to be miserable. That is it. Nice try, mofo. Nice try. But I don't want to be miserable. I have no desire. I want to be happy. Let's go. Push down, get this straight on the board. Good. We're going to do the same on the other sides with the anchor. Push down, get you straight on the board. Okay, now that it's soldered, we're going to push, resolder, make sure it's nice and low. And here's for the beautiful part. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? This is the most fun part of the entire job, where I get to disobey every single rule in the book on proper soldering and still get a perfect connector. This is the fun part. I love this part. Sick. It never gets old. Okay. And okay, here we go. Damn inductor gets in the way. Fucking coil. It's always the coil. Fucking coil, man. Tries to ruin my day. Okay, now to do the anchor pins. Be really careful with the front one. Remember, if the solder flows inside the connector, you lose. Okay, next. Okay, I need a fuse. Obviously, I need a backlight fuse. So, let's see. Let's loosen you up. Blah, 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 blah. Yowza. Okay. Let's see, I don't have any new fuses left. Crap. Let's see, what do I wait to buy a new one or do I grab one from a donor board? Let's click around here. Okay, according to the notes, he bitched and screamed when we said that this repair would take 4 hours. Yeah, certified pre-owned fuse for you, jackass. Okay, certified pre-owned fuse for you. You are too important to wait for the brand new ones that are coming from Mouser tomorrow. God, I love this business. You don't have you really don't have the time to do shit. Okay. Certified pre-owned fuse coming up. That's a little too certified pre-owned for me. That's not even certified. Okay, next. That's certified burned. That's mean. Even for somebody, according to the notes here, was a complete jackass, that's still mean. There's a line, you know? Like, I treat people the way they treat me, but at the same time, there's... You don't... There are some things I won't give people. So if the fuse is black, that's just mean. I'm not gonna do that. Alright, so now what I have to do is get a screen that's not his to see if this will give me a light, image, and all that good stuff. Because I don't trust this one for shit. So I turn the heat down on the Weller to cool it off. This thing, I like the Weller sometimes, but one of the things that's really dumb is the thing is too dumb to realize when you turn it off that it needs to run the air for a while so it doesn't overheat. So with the standard soldering iron, when you turn it off, it just instantly turns off because there's, the element was heated to the point to make it 700 degrees. And that's that. Now with a hot air station, keep in mind that it's heating itself. The hot air station is heating itself so that when there is air blowing through at this much pressure, when there's the room's cold air blowing right through my hot air, that it'll be 700 degrees. Now, when you turn the air off immediately, again, that little hot air, that heating element was meant to make the air 700 Fahrenheit when there's air blowing through it that's cold. So when you stop blowing that cold air through it, now the heating element is going to go 800, 900, 1,000, 1,200, 2,000. It'll burn out. So if the thing had half a fucking brain, it would know, let me turn, when the guy says turn off, how about I stay on just running cold air through it for a little while so I don't burn? That is not what the engineering geniuses at Weller decided to do. I can have this thing set, I could literally have this thing set to 1,000 degrees. I can hit the stop button and it instantly turns the air off, which will fuck the heating element 6 ways to Sunday. Alright, so... Oh, I hate how short the MacBook Air screen cable is. Oh god, this is annoying as hell. When it comes to testing, this is so fucking annoying. Because I'm not the one who's going to be replacing the screen cable. Fuck out of here. This is what employees are for. I do this, and then there's a little drop-down tab in Repair Shopper where I make replacing the cable and not ripping the screen and all that shit while you're getting the bezel off. Somebody else's nightmare. I've done enough of these already. And if I'm going to be doing all the boards, then I'm sure as shit not doing the rest of all this stuff. So let's see. So I turn it on, and what do I get? Do I get a fire? Oh no, I get an RTC reset, because this is one of the turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off, and then eventually turn on. Let's see what I get. Did I replace the inductor? I never replaced the fucking inductor. Of course I get nothing. Duh. Alright. That was dumb. That was really dumb. So remember this little inductor that I was supposed to replace? For 3 volts to the LCD? It'd really help if I actually put that on. Oh yeah, I bet this thing would work. I bet the screen would work so much better if it was getting 3 volts instead of 0. Okay. Now I gotta wait for the Weller to heat up again. I don't know why I was so gung-ho about this thing when I first got it. Another thing about this that I'm noticing over time. So you notice how the HAKKO is actually covered over here? This section of it right here is covered into that blue stuff. This one's not. So you know what happens when you put it near things? It burns them, like your finger or your hand or the top of your tweezers, which you're touching, and then you touch the tweezers in it. It's just, I don't know. This wasn't really thought through very well. But it's these things that I didn't really notice in the beginning, but I kind of noticed after extended usage. I'm not going back to the FR801, because the FR801 is even less powerful than this thing, which I'm just, It's not that the FR801 was ever this amazing station. It was just that in a sea of shit, it was something I could use. But I've kind of graduated to wanting things like the JBC. Like right now, I'm removing this inductor, right? And I can feel that my fingers are getting warmed up incredibly, because while it is shooting the heat out, it's also moving it everywhere in the area, including my hand. And what the fuck? There's also no curved nozzles for this either. The curved nozzles they have are like the 1.8 or 2 millimeter ones, but those ones are they're worthless. You need 4 or 6 millimeters to actually get anything really going. The HAKKO doesn't have that either. The JBC does. And obviously, the problem with the JBC is that that's the hot air station. That's actually pretty decent, but it's $1,800. Who's gonna buy a fucking $1,800 hot air station? Anybody who can afford to buy that is somebody who can afford to just replace everything for their customers instead of fucking fix it. Like, that's a lot of money. And I'm just complaining while I'm waiting for this thing to turn on. Never mind me. Okay, so we plug it in. And hopefully now I can actually get power going to my damn screen. So it's going to turn on. And is it going to go on fire? Chime, you mofo. Whew, chimed. Whoa! I see an apple. And I see other shit. I see the name of the person that I was just insulting and calling an asshole. I actually didn't call them an asshole. I just said that they were kind of acting like one, so I should probably cover that part. But see? The apple lit up, so hopefully you believe me that there's a picture on the screen. But I can't really show you it because it has the login name. Okay? And that's that. And I hope you learned something.